Welcome to another edition of MBC News. Once again, our reporters are covering the people making the news here in Comic Country. But before we check out those stories, here's Matt Stevens, who recaps some of those headlines in The Minute.
It's that time of year again. Mason residents took to the streets, transforming downtown into a winter wonderland, hosting the annual Christmas in Mason. Mason High School sophomore Grace Niekamp was crowned the winner of the Christmas in Mason pageant. Recently, College Board recognized Mason among 367 other school districts in the U.S. and in Canada for its outstanding advanced placement opportunities. Mason was among 23 other school districts in Ohio, as well as local school districts Kings, Lakota, Madeira, Forest Hills, and Indian Hill. After the passing of John Odell, the Mason City School Board approved a new member to the seat. Local attorney Matthew Steele will serve out the rest of Mr. Odell's term. Steele is a member of the Cincinnati Emerita, a semi-professional choral ensemble, as well as worked to raise money for the 2010 Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's Man of the Year, as well as serves on the board of directors for the Ohio Energy Project. That's all for The Minute. Now back to Allie with the students making the news here in Comic Country.
For the students who park all the way out in the pool lot, the shuttle bus can come in handy when the weather isn't cooperative. But with recent budget cuts, that long walk could become pretty uncomfortable. Miranda Miller has the story.
Low temperatures, rain, and snow. These are the conditions many students will encounter on their drive to school this winter. While many students hate driving in this hazardous and irritating weather, some will be forced to walk in it as well. For the hundreds of drivers who park in the back lots, they'll have to brave the weather now that the shuttle buses have been eliminated due to budget cuts. Many students making this long walk aren't happy. How do you feel about the fact that there will be no shuttle buses this winter?
I really don't like it because it's freezing cold, and by the time I get to school I can't even feel my fingers.
I'm upset about it and I wish they were there because it's really cold walking inside.
I'm not very happy about it because sometimes when it's raining people get soaked and then you have to be wet for the rest of the day.
I'm really unhappy about that because the days when it's cold and snowy are awful and I don't like walking.
I'm very disappointed. Well, your shoes are going to get all wet and that's just not good.
I would like to talk to the administration about it. I think that we should have shuttle buses because I'm walking every day for at least 5 minutes and it's freezing cold and my ears are going to fall off.
When it's cold and there's ice on the ground, if there's no shuttle buses, well, I'm not the most coordinated person, so I'm going to be the person that slips and falls on his butt.
It's really cold, and I don't know what we're supposed to do when it gets icy and snowy, and we have to truck through the snow. That's going to be super cold, and I'm already freezing, and it's not even snowing yet.
While students may not be happy about their long walk, school administrators say it was necessary because they had to find ways to reduce spending, and eliminating the buses was one of the cuts.
Basically, the bus shuttles were canceled from the park lot because at our community forums, the community parents and taxpayers spoke loud and clear that they thought that was a waste of taxpayers' money. So the school, listening to the community, decided not to run the shuttles from the park to the bus circle.
Though students have to endure the harsh winter weather, they may take comfort in the fact that in a few short months, the snow will melt and that long walk that everyone dreaded will then be a nice stroll on a warm spring day. But if it's anything like last spring, you might need an umbrella. I'm Miranda Miller, MBC News.
While Facebook still ranks as the most popular social networking site, Twitter is starting to give Facebook a run for their money. And as Alex Yelig reports, Twitter is becoming pretty popular for MHS students.
Jimmy! Stop that darn tweeting!
1 second, Grandma. Gosh.
Twitter is undeniably an upcoming fad that could be a viable competitor of the almighty Facebook. This roused the question by NBC, what makes Twitter and tweeting so appealing? But the best way to know this is to do it. And for those who don't have a Twitter, such as myself, this could be a hard question to answer. So I made one with the help of Mason Twitter veteran with almost 6,000 tweets, Taylor Rice.
I like to tweet anything that comes to my mind, really, anything that I think will interest people and that'll gain me followers. I like to tweet anywhere because I always have my iPhone on me and I'm always on Twitter. I really like to keep my follower count up. It's really upsetting when I look at my followers and I've lost 2 or 3, but in general, Twitter's just a good place for anybody to tweet anytime, basically anything they want and anywhere because everyone has smartphones now.
Hold up, anywhere, about anything. Although we appreciated Taylor's help, we needed more. So again, we turned to Mason's tweeting students.
My Twitter name is So Crispy, and my last tweet was holy water because Facebook photo last night.
My Twitter name is Mads is Rad, and my last tweet was Happy Canada.
Yesterday I walked into the cafeteria and saw a ridiculous sign that said the taste of Italy. So I had to tweet about it, and I said a twit pic that said pizza tastes like cardboard in this ridiculous cafeteria, and that's not the taste of Italy.
I'm Michael Van Clunen, at Mike Van Clunen. Get at me on Twitter, please.
My last tweet was happy birthday to my big adult brother, the big 1-8.
My Twitter name is Dana Lee Hurst, and my last tweet was eating Oreos.
I'm the Nature Boy, and my last tweet was, I was born to be famous, I don't mess around. My first photo shoot was my mom's ultrasound.
Hashtag yum.
I'm actually currently tweeting about I'm getting interviewed for a Twitter story on MBC.
The planet Saturn has 7 rings, Michael Jordan has 6 rings, Kobe Bryant has 5 rings.
My last tweet was, no cares, no worries, just stargazing, at Dean Rambis.
And all LeBron James has is just a headband.
My Twitter name is Should Have Been a Cow, and my last tweet was, how does Santa have time to make toys when he's in all these commercials? Hashtag share Santa, hashtag selfish companies.
Yeah, I'm Kid Comma.
My Twitter name is Emily Oliver, and my last tweet was about bad drivers.
My last tweet was, I wish each person had their own soundtrack that played whenever they walked into the room.
Twitter as a whole seems to be just another one of the many ways of expressing yourself. The only difference is it's for all to see. So whether in the classroom or laying in bed, you can be sure your personal best will be heard, all in a simple. I'm Alex Yellick, MBC News.
Welcome to this edition of MBC Sports. With winter right around the corner, athletes are gearing up for a whole new season of sports. Before we check out some of these athletes this season, let's take a look at some of the top headlines in the minute. The boys basketball team is off to a terrific start to the season thanks to senior point guard J.D. Sprague. Sprague is averaging 18.5 points per game and leading the team in blocks. The boys have a tough road ahead of them with 5 of their next 7 games on the road. The Comets will be back at home when they host Columbus Mifflin on December 22nd. The varsity girls basketball team bounced back from a season-opening loss to Sycamore and have a record of 2-1 heading into tonight's game at Fairfield High School. The hockey team is continuing their successful season on the ice and have improved their record to 9-1. The next game is this Friday night at the Cincy Gardens as they play host to Walnut Hills. Senior left tackle Joe Spencer has a tough decision to make after the University of Illinois has fired their head football coach. Spencer is now reconsidering his verbal commitment to the Fighting Illini. He said that he is still interested in Illinois, but is also considering South Florida and Georgia Tech. Spencer will be closer to making a decision after he finds out who the next coach will be at the University of Illinois. The varsity wrestling team is participating in the Coaches Classic this Saturday at Harrison High School. After finishing in the top 3 last year, they are looking to win it all on Saturday. The MHS wrestling team is searching for a 3rd straight GMC title, but they also have expectations to go deep into the postseason. Corinne Hazen has the story.
The Mason Comet wrestling team opened in impressive fashion last week at the Moeller Duels, knocking off Wadsworth, the 2010 state champion. Despite losing to the 21st ranked team in the nation, the Comets have proved they're a team to be reckoned with this season. It takes tremendous dedication and commitment to be a wrestler at Mason High School, and Coach Meridian thinks he has assembled a team that symbolizes the Comets' motto of pride, tradition, and family, especially after the Comets' outstanding effort at the Moeller meet.
We have to wrestle on a national level. We scheduled Graham, they're number 2 in the nation, preseason in the nation. We scheduled Moeller, they're ranked currently in the nation as well. And so we got to continue to wrestle at that level, see that level of competition so that we can make adjustments. And wrestling is just about as much as success as failure. I want a schedule where our kids succeed, and I want a schedule where our kids fail. So in failure, we have growth, and so we try to provide that opportunity for our kids to see both sides of the spectrum so that they know at the end of the year what they need to do to be successful at the state level. we wrestled a really good Moeller team. We lost a couple really close matches. Their kids, I think, are a little bit better trained right now because they're preparing to wrestle in a really tough tournament this next weekend. So they were in a little bit better condition than where I really wanted our kids to be in the first week. We've been really practicing in our technique, and so our conditioning wasn't where it needs to be, but it was fine for a first week of season, and that stuff will be taken care of as we progress through our 14-week season.
The Comets have won 2 consecutive GMC titles, and with the leadership provided by 8 returning starters, they're determined to win a third.
The ultimate goal in the end is to ultimately win state. Right now, for me, is just getting to the state tournament. That's what I want from this year, and I just want to put myself in a position to get up there and make something happen, and that's what I'm fighting for all year this year.
Coach Bernan believes that to be the best, you must beat the best, and his wrestlers are facing their toughest schedule yet. But they hope that this tough schedule will pay off for the tradition-rich Mason High School wrestling program. I'm Corinne Hazen, MBC Sports.